Hello, everyone. Matthew Schwab here with Matthew Schwab Speaks, here with another episode of Matthew Schwab Listens. So, one thing you should know about me is that I've been involved in Gigi's Playhouse for a really long time, since before our Raleigh Playhouse opened its first doors, even as far as 2015. And little known fact about me, I am one of the newest board members on the board of management for the Raleigh Playhouse. So I think it'd be nice to introduce to you my fellow boss in a way, Michelle Pfeiffer, board president of GG's Playhouse Raleigh.
Thank you, Matthew. I'm happy to be here today with you.
Thank you. Um, so you definitely, I know you are making a huge impact on people's lives, and so and you've been involved in the disability community in two different ways. Gigi's Playhouse and before that, Anna's Angels. So what is Anna's Angels Foundation?
Yeah. So my daughter Anna, that's where the Anna's Angels Foundation came from, was in honor of my daughter Anna, who is now 22. When she was born, she had an irregular white cell condition, and later she developed leukemia. And when she was going through leukemia and treated at Duke University, I realized in talking to the doctors there that there wasn't a lot of research done in Down syndrome. So, in partnership with Duke Children's Hospital, we started Anna's Angels Foundation, and that was to raise funds for critical research to help understand Down syndrome further, to understand why individuals with Down syndrome that do develop AML leukemia, they actually have a higher survival rate, which is fantastic, from leukemia than an individual that does not have Down syndrome. So we were funding important research to kind of understand that better, and then to understand other things that impact somebody with Down syndrome.
That's that's amazing. And you also been involved with 321 Coffee, but but so can you tell us about Gigi's Playhouse and what it is?
Gigi's Playhouse.
Yes.
So Gigi's Playhouse is the Down Syndrome Achievement Center. There are over 58 playhouses throughout the country, and we provide free programming for individuals with Down syndrome from prenatal diagnosis all the way to adult.
Nice. So what did you do? I mean, how did you get involved with Gigi's Playhouse Raleigh?
Actually, I got involved because Michelle Schwab, you might know her, reached out to me and said, would you like to have coffee and talk about Gigi's Playhouse and bringing one to the Raleigh area? And I did, and I was thrilled to be part of the startup team.
That's amazing. And can you also tell us what is the Generation G Youth Board?
The Generation G Youth Board it's a fantastic group of high school students locally here that support Gigi's Playhouse, and they get involved doing fundraising, volunteering, and also being an advocate for those with Down syndrome. So they can go back to their high schools and explain, what we do at Gigi's, and also encourage others to be part of the Generation G Youth Board. And we've actually seen it grow tremendously. I think we're up to 20 members now this year, which is fantastic.
Wow, that's definitely amazing. And also, what do you think is the biggest misconception of Down syndrome?
I think the biggest misconception is that individuals with Down syndrome, that people put limits on individuals with Down syndrome, and there should be no limits. I couldn't do what you're doing right now. I mean,
Right.
you're amazing, Matthew.
Yep.
And I mean, I think that's the biggest misconception is don't put limits out there.
Yep. The only limits we should have is self-imposed limits, and that's it.
Uh, Well said. Well said.
Thank you. And so regarding about Gigi's Playhouse, so I'm not audience. I'm not sure if you've seen this on social media, but we're actively looking for a board treasurer. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yes, we are. So, to keep the Playhouse running, we are 99% volunteer run. We do have 4 paid staff, but then the rest of us, myself and you and everybody on the board, we all volunteer. And our current treasurer, his term is ending. So we are looking for somebody who would like to fulfill his spot as the treasurer. And really that just entails helping us with the monthly finances, paying the bills, and then helping with the budget. So every year we come up with a budget so that we can stay on track, and we want to be fiscally, financially, we want to make sure we're using the donor dollars in the best way possible. So that's why we're looking for a new treasurer. So anybody listening, send us your resume, right?
Yes, and if you have anyone interested, or if you're already interested, please email Michelle Pfeiffer at mpfeiffer@gtsplayhouse.org.
Perfect. Thank you, Matthew. I like the pitch. We need help.
Thanks. And so, since we got the serious questions out of the way, let's do some fun ones.
Okay.
So, what are three words that you would describe yourself?
Well, I would hope compassion, the way I would describe myself, it would be compassion, hardworking, and loving of my family.
Definitely, I definitely agree, but I think I would probably add financial contributor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And and also, I know this is not about Gigi's Playhouse, but you are also been involved with 321 Coffee over the years. So please tell us your involvement in 321 Coffee.
I think my story with 321 Coffee is just it shows how inclusion works and how we should have inclusion throughout our communities. I met Lindsay Regg, who is the CEO of 321 Coffee, back when she was in elementary school. She came into the classroom that my daughter Anna was in, and 2 of Anna's friends, Grace and Sarah. The 3 girls were in a classroom, and Lindsay would come in and read to them, and she would come in often. But then when Lindsay would see them out on the playground, Lindsay would go and bring them over to her friends, and she would play with them, and they were just her friends. And that started in elementary school, and then throughout elementary and middle and high school, Lindsay did different things with the girls, and she taught them dance, and then they would perform at her high school. They did a dance performance, and they would go out to the movies together and dinner together, and they were just, they were Lindsay's friends. And from that, then when Lindsay went to NC State, and she started the pop-up coffee shop, which now we have seen it turn into a huge success with a roasting facility and several locations. It all really just started back with something super simple, and that's just inclusion and having everyone be together and be friends.
Definitely. And also, Michelle, this is not Michelle Pfeiffer's first experience on the board of directors, because you've been involved with 321 Coffee on their board of directors. Can you talk about that?
I was. So when 321 started off, they were a nonprofit as well, like Gigi's, before they turned into a for-profit. And they asked if I would be on the board and help. And obviously I was happy to help them. And yeah, it was a great experience. They were great young people with tons of energy, and they certainly turned it into a very successful for-profit business.
Definitely. I should know, because for you guys out there, I've worked at 321 Coffee ever since the beginning. In fact, it was through Michelle Pfeiffer that recommended my mom, Michelle Schwab, about the opportunity, and from there, I came on board.
You did. You were also on the board as well.
Oh, I mean, not necessarily. I was part of one of the board meetings pitching of the advisory council
The
committee,
advisory board. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I was on the advisory council, served as independent contractor and show host from Matthew's Minutes.
That's right. Oh, it's awesome.
Yes. So, what is the best vacation you ever taken with your family?
Oh, you know what? I actually have to say, this past summer, we took our family to Bermuda, and my husband Andy and I went to Bermuda 30 years ago for our honeymoon. So for our 30th wedding anniversary, we decided to take all the kids and go and let them experience what we did 30 years ago. And it was pretty magical being able to show them all the places that they've seen pictures of us. And then we were able to reenact some pictures and just have some good family time.
Definitely. I'm glad you guys had fun.
We had a great time. It was very fun.
Thank you. So, what qualities do you admire most about yourself?
About myself. I think probably hardworking would be, probably you can go just going back to the original ones we talked about. I think I like to think that I am willing to listen, and from listening to people, be able to help make some positive change. And compassion. I think, I feel very blessed to be in this community and to, Anna entering in our life. I, didn't know much about Down syndrome, and this whole journey and being around so many fantastic people that have really become this great tribe is just it's been something that I would never want to change. It's really been truly a highlight of my life. So
Definitely. I think one of my highlights of my life is partnerships because without partnerships, without partnerships, stuff can happen, but very slowly and not very often. But partnerships, but it's accelerate that rate. So speaking about that, please talk about the partnership with Gigi's and the North Carolina Down Syndrome Alliance.
Oh, absolutely. That's a wonderful partnership because, when new babies are born, the hospitals typically go to NCDSA, and then they get connected, and then NCDSA, we have a wonderful partnership with them, and then they help connect those families to Gigi so that they can come and be part of our free programs. But I think the partnership is working with their staff and working with their leadership team and being able to provide the Hispanic family socials and the Black and mixed family socials, and then the South Asian, being able to provide that to our families, but then families that might be more connected with NCDSA. And I think what we have seen in that is we are so much stronger when we're all working together and we bring all of our families together. That partnership has really, I think, just been instrumental for both organizations. And it's just like our upcoming Christmas party we do every year, and we do that in partnership so that our families that maybe haven't been around NCDSA and don't maybe know everything that they offer, they have an opportunity to talk to them. And then the families at NCDSA that might not have been through Gigi's doors, they have an opportunity to meet our volunteers and our staff and get connected as well. So I think partnerships, NCDSA is a wonderful one. And I think that is one thing that this board here at Gigi's has done such a fantastic job is with partnerships and bringing people in, and not just like bringing them in for a one and done, but bringing them in and then seeing, okay, what is of interest to you and how can we keep you engaged so that we can all continue to achieve our goals.
Definitely. And I think the biggest partnership we had and still have at GG's is It's to NC State. Please talk about that.
Yes. So what started, gosh, probably 6+ years ago with Victory Days, where our participants go out on NC State's field in Carter Finley Stadium. They run out of the tunnel with the football players, and then they do skills with the football players. And then each one of them also runs a touchdown in, and the band's there and the cheerleaders there. And it's just a big night celebrating, truly celebrating inclusion and giving a moment for our participants to do something that they haven't ever had the opportunity to do before. That from that beginning, and Coach Dorn really was such a huge advocate and still is. They have just provided so many more opportunities for us to come on Fridays and hand snacks out to the football players, which has developed relationships there with coach and staff and players and our participants. We have 2 interns that do the wash the jerseys for the players, and the players come and talk to them, and they've just created some real friendships there. You can walk into Gigi's, and we always have NC State athletes coming here and volunteer. So last week we had almost the entire NC State men's basketball team here volunteering, and the football team comes here and volunteers, as well as many of the other athletes. And it's really been wonderful to see that relationship from just one event to grow into them. It's just a revolving door. We're over at NC State often. You can see us throwing out the first pitch at baseball and softball, and you can see us dancing at halftime at a basketball game with the NC State dancers. And then just on the other side of it, you see players and athletes and NC State supporters coming here and volunteering. So I think it's just been a really great relationship on both sides.
That's definitely amazing. And also, last weekend, we had the biggest weekend because it was our GG's annual gala. Please talk about that.
Yes. So every year we have 2 main fundraisers, but the gala is our biggest fundraiser to help us raise really significant funds so that we can keep offering our free programs. And the gala was a huge success. And speaking of NC State, we did honor one of the NC State football players who not only has come here and volunteered numerous times, but also did 2 fundraisers and donated over $55,000 to Gigi's. So we had a nice moment honoring him.
Yep. And I think that's a big thing for the Generation G sport, because while the playoffs as a whole does 1 or 2 big fundraisers, but so the Minotaur is passed to the Generation G sport, where they're the ones who constantly or almost constantly does fundraising events. Please talk about that.
About the Gen G, about their fundraising events?
Yes.
Yes. Well, they, throughout the year, they do different types of fundraising events. They can do a car wash, or they can hold a social event raising funds for us. And I think one of the things that I love best about what the youth board does is the Halloween party and the snowflake balls that they do. We have such a great turnout of participants that come to those kinds of events. And those are the kinds of events that I love to see our youth board doing, because they get that one-on-one interaction with our participants, and it just builds that inclusion model. And I hope that the youth that are involved, while being involved in high school, that this is something that's a lifetime of volunteering for them. And they feel comfortable wherever they go, because now with Gigi's around the entire country, you can move to lots of different cities and you can find a Gigi's in your area.
Yes. And most of the playhouses are in the Northeast, where it all began in the Chicago area. But if you live in like California or any other states, it's really hard, because there's either one playhouse or there's no playhouses over there. But the good thing is that in the national office is generating 200 inquiries for starting on their playhouses. Please talk about that.
Yeah, so I think what we're seeing is this huge ripple effect throughout the country. And just like you said, it started up in the Northeast, and there's a huge concentration of playhouses around the Chicago, that area. But now we're seeing where Florida has several of them, Texas has a few, and California, and Portland's getting ready to open. So we're really starting to see this wave of playhouses throughout the country. So and we've seen it here where somebody will move to our area and they would have been involved in a playhouse somewhere else. So we just had a family that moved here that was from the Atlanta Playhouse. So it's great that, as the people are transient, they can still, hopefully find a playhouse if they move to a new area, which again just really goes back to what all of the playhouses are doing throughout the country. And that's building this inclusion model and allowing the community to come into the playhouse, volunteering, and hopefully if they leave this area, there's another area that they can go and get connected.
Definitely. And what is your favorite movie?
Top Gun.
I love Top Gun, and I also love the second one, Maverick.
I do. I love the second one too. I think I saw the first one. Oh gosh, I don't know, 30 times. I love the second one too.
I haven't seen the original Top Gun. I haven't not seen it 30 times, but I've seen it a lot. But it's something. Tell me something that is on your bucket list.
On my bucket list, I think once things slow down, my bucket list is full of just traveling with my family. It's my favorite thing to do is be with my family and travel. It doesn't have to be somewhere super exotic, but just being with my family.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And also, can you also please tell the audience about what the Generation G Youth Board does with the gala?
Yeah, the Generation G Youth Board is wonderful at the gala because we pair each one of the teens with one of our ambassadors, and they walk around and the ambassador can introduce themselves to a guest and tell them, what they love about doing at Gigi's. And besides that is kind of during the whole cocktail hour, but then the youth board is instrumental because to pull off a gala with 300 people there and all the different things that we were doing throughout the night, we needed all those volunteers to hand out the light up party sticks, to the light up blaze, selling raffle tickets, and then handling the silent auction, checking out the silent auction. So, those teens, we really couldn't do our gala without them.
Definitely. And I think that's one of my biggest accomplishments because if it weren't for Whitney Khan and I, Gen Z would not exist because Whitney Khan and I basically single-handedly with our 4 bare hands created that board.
Yes, you did. And I think that's what you're seeing now, really the fruits of that labor. And that's why that board just keeps growing. And I think the teens, you can tell they have a good time on the board. And so they're bringing their friends in, which really just shows what you guys started and created. It's just continued to foster and grow.
Definitely. And that's one thing that I love. Like legacy, it's important to leave in a legacy that stands the test of time. And for me, is 221 Coffee and Gigi's because when they did that 3-episode reveal of the newest storefront, in part that would not be around if it weren't for Matthew's Minutes.
Absolutely, you were a big part of that.
Yeah,
I love Matthew's Minutes. Do you still do Matthew's Minutes?
Oh, no.
No. Yeah, they were awesome when you did it.
I think we got like into the first few episodes of season 2 of Matthew's Minutes, and then I think at first we took a break from it, and then when I wanted to get back into doing Matthew's minutes, Bill Lamb. He was the editor for Matthew's minutes. He moved on and went somewhere else. So ever since our editor quit Matthew's minutes, it went to a screeching halt immediately.
Well, maybe one day you can bring it back.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And also, I got a couple more questions for you. So thank you so much. So if people want to volunteer at Gigi's, how can they get more information?
Yeah, so they can go to our website, so gigisplayhouse.org, and then a / Raleigh, and click on the volunteer button.
That's awesome. And please tell our audience about the great things that my business, Matthew Schwab Speaks, has been doing.
Well, we love the way, Matthew Schwab, how your business goes out into the community and how you speak and talk about jobs, which it's so important for the community to hear and understand, and for you to be the one that is advocating for it, and they can see you and see how capable you are. I think that has been such a huge part of employers understanding, oh yes, I can hire someone with Down syndrome. So I think what you're doing for the employment industry for individuals with Down syndrome is huge, really is. And you walk the talk, because then you are a great employee.
Thank you. And so, what is one question that you would want to ask me?
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see myself in 10 years as already been married to my girl, Lucia Romano, and me still finding ways to challenge myself mentally as well. And I'm a very analytical person, so anything like that, like state government, but like jobs in not a career in politics, but just series of jobs, no higher than state level. There's that, and keep continuing to serve on any board of management that wants me.
That's amazing, Matthew. And I know you will accomplish all of that because you are such a hard worker.
Thanks. And so, audience, thank you for listening to this episode of Matthew Schwab Listens. I hope you enjoy getting to know Michelle Pfeiffer a bit better. So please check out my business through my website, MatthewSchwabSpeaks.com, and follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and LinkedIn. Stay tuned for the next episode of Matthew Schwab Listens.